Okay, so I've started streaming. Uh,
Perfect. I think there's an issue with the colors. It's streaming,
yeah.
but it's kind of instead of colors.
Yeah, there's an issue with the color, I think. Yeah, there's an issue with the color.
Yeah, maybe you have like this extension that removes like blue colors or something like that you should disable.
I think it's an issue with the OBS Studio, the software which I'm using, I think.
Because it seems like it disables like blue light. I think there's a few like night light kind of.
Okay, I'll see if I can fix it.
Okay.
Actually, I can't find any settings for that right now.
You think it's something with the streaming software?
Yeah.
So what are our option here? I mean, I can do it like that and then share the video, or just. You think it's something with the streaming software? What do you think is the best way?
Oh, yeah, you could. Yeah, you could do that.
Okay, so let's start just this way, and then we'll share the video with the right colors later.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so I'll just start. So, hey everyone, let me just start recording this as well. What happens when I do start streaming, by the way? Oh, but now I can record.
Yeah.
Wait, let's give it a sec. Where is it streaming though? Hey everyone, let me just start recording this as well. Just a sec. What happens when I do start streaming, by the way? Where is it streaming though? Let's start the recording as well. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to mute you all and start. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the EchoAR workshop. We're going to go through a few things about augmented reality, virtual reality, and answer any questions to basically allow you to build really good AR/VR applications in 15 minutes or less. My name is Lon. I'm the founder of EchoAR. As I mentioned, we're a cloud platform for augmented and virtual reality that provides tools and network infrastructure for companies and developers to build AR/VR applications. I did my master's at computer science at Columbia University and my undergrad in computer science electrical engineering, so a certified nerd who loves augmented and virtual reality. And I think before we start, it's really important to level set here, just basically define the terms virtual reality, augmented reality for everyone to know. So virtual reality is, or VR, is when everything around you is occluded. You're basically looking at the world as completely digital. Everything around you is a CGI construct, computer-generated imagery, and your vision is occluded through a headset that basically occludes your vision. Your sensory is completely controlled through the headset, if it's vision, if it's sound, as opposed to what we have with augmented reality, or AR, in which you still see the real world, and we overlay that world with digital constructs. For example, digital monsters, or add layers of content on top of the real world. You're looking at the world through either a camera see-through, like a phone or a tablet, or an optical see-through, like a glasses or a smart headset, that basically allows you to see the real world, but basically overlays data on top of that. A classic example of that is the American movie Space Jam, an amazing movie that basically shows Jordan transported into Looney Towns. That is an amazing example of VR, right? Everything around him is a cartoon, and he's able to interact with digital monsters there, as opposed to what we have later in the movie, in which the Looney Tunes come to us, and they're basically able to interact with us in the real world and play basketball together, and we have Bill Murray interacting with them. It's a really cool distinction between AR versus VR. Real-world examples of that are more things that you know, like Pokemon Go, that you're, again, running around the real world, playing around with digital monsters, as opposed to a Beat Saber, for example, that you're enclosed in the digital environment, playing around, slashing digital cubes based on some type of music. Again, look how different these experiences are from a interaction perspective. Another amazing example of augmented reality is the project I did back in the day at Columbia University. We took CT and MRI, converted them into 3D, and then allowed physicians to sit inside of the patients during surgery. It was an insane experience that basically allowed physicians a way into the patient's anatomy, guiding them through procedures in real time. The problem was that I had to do something that I really hate, and that's waking up early in the morning. I had to go to the hospital every day at 6 a.m., convert those 3D models, make sure they work in AR. And that was really frustrating, because as a developer, I only wanted to do two things: manage 3D assets and then deliver them to an AR device. And when I talked to other developers who are building augmented reality applications for healthcare and digital visualization in games and retail, shopping, and more, they all said the same thing. There is no easy way to manage and deliver 3D data. But if you think about it, that problem was solved for 2D, right? You don't need to be a web developer to update the blog post. Companies like Heroku created this backend as a service for web. 5 years later, when mobile apps were all the rage, companies like Parse or Firebase created the best cloud platforms for mobile. And now, 5 years out, we have this another type of content, which is 3D, AR, VR, MR, immersive, call it whatever. And we're asking ourselves, who's going to build that platform for the next generation? And you've guessed it, that's us. So EchoAR is that cloud platform for AR and VR that provides tools and network infrastructure for companies and developers who want to build 3D applications. Let's see, again, how this works. So the same way you don't need to be a web developer to update a blog post, you can drag and drop an image or video, suddenly that appears on web and mobile. And if I'm in New York and you're in California and we're both watching an episode of Netflix, we automatically get the best streaming experience. We translate these concepts into augmented and virtual reality, basically providing you with a way to manage and deliver 3D assets and get the best 3D streaming experience. And what's interesting here is we have this bi-directional connection between the data and the target, as opposed to web and mobile, that you as a user, you can't move an image or a video on a website, but you can definitely move a 3D couch across the room, and that needs to be updated on the cloud. So that's what we've built, basically this content management system and delivery network specifically built to handle 3D applications. I definitely encourage you to register for free on our website. You can also use the link you got from your hackathon organizers to get free access to our premium tier for free. So definitely check that out. And as part of the hackathon, we obviously support one of the sponsored prizes that you're eligible to win if you build an AR/VR application using EchoAR. So definitely check that out. Now I'm going to go and show you a quick demo of how to use our platform and how you can build apps like really, really quickly. So this is our platform on the left, and on the right, you just see a mirroring of my phone. I'm going to do something super simple. I'm going to upload a fan favorite 3D model of the Empire State right here. This is the same 3D model that you can use for 3D printing. We have a bunch of models here that you can choose from, or actually just search. So just type in any keyword that you want, and you'll search for it. We search from content aggregators like poly.google.com. That's like Google's image 3D model, very similar to Google Image Search or Sketchfab. We're going to upload this fan favorite 3D model to our cloud. What happens right now is that we take that 3D model, we build, store, and compress it. So we'll work on Android, iOS, Magic, Fall, and Zoom, name it. Once that's done, I'm going to open a sample app right here. Most of the developers that we work through obviously have their own app, but we have a sample app that you can play around with and just stream data to directly. You can download it here through our menu. So Android app that you can download right here. The camera recognizes there's a floor here, and bam, the Empire State is here with me. I walk around it, walk inside. Super, super simple. But what happens when I want to change this? When I want to exchange the Empire State to something else? So instead of rebuilding the application, instead of doing anything technical, I'm going to delete this previous entry, upload something else, and it will automatically update across all platforms. So let's do that. Let's upload a different building. Again, same process occurs. We build, store, and deliver that content to any device. I'm going to open the exact same app. And the app itself, again, it's just a camera. There's nothing there. And then when the camera recognizes the floor, we stream the data to it, and there you go. Suddenly we have a different building automatically being shown. Super, super simple. I'll also mention that this, again, changes across platforms. So this was a mobile example, but let's say we want to do a web example. For example, we work with a company in the art space that wanted to have people walk in and randomly see 3D models through the web browsers without installing anything. No worries. We instantiate the camera through the browser. The same camera recognizes the floor, and there you go. Now we have the same building, now through the browser. Super simple. Another example of that is something that you can actually interact with. So if you have a phone right now, you can scan this QR code with me. I'm going to do that. I'm going to scan that QR code. It will direct me to a website, and you'll be able to see the same building on your floor right now. So if you have a phone, take it out, scan the QR code. It will redirect you to your website, and then you'll be able to see the building in your home right now. So make sure you do that. Let's press C in AR. The camera, again, will instantiate. And we'll be able to see the building right here. Super simple. Again, I really encourage you to do it. It's really cool. And again, we will stream it to any device out there. So we saw web, we saw mobile. Let's see another example of Unity. It's a game engine. I really recommend Unity. It's a really powerful game engine that you can use. We have a robust SDK for it right here, and later we'll see how we actually build apps with Unity. So definitely check it out. The camera, again, would recognize the floor. You're not going to be surprised by seeing the same building right here. But let's take it a step further. Let's do something like animating the building in real time. So I can click here and basically expose this data panel for the 3D model. And I'm going to do something simple. I'm going to just add some content to it, like direction equals left. And bam, suddenly you see it automatically rotates. And all I had to do is like plug in some data. If I want to make it bigger, that's another option. So let's do scale equals 2. Bam, suddenly it's 2 times bigger. So these are obviously like simple examples of how you can change data in real time, how you can interact with it. Let's make it smaller again, and how you can affect things and stream data in real time. So we saw mobile, we saw web, we saw Unity, and they all used a technology called surface detection. Basically, the camera recognizes the floor. Another thing that we support is image detection. So the camera could recognize it's an image. So I'm going to show you that right now. So if you want, again, you can scan this with me. I'm going to scan this QR code. It will redirect me to a website again, so you don't have to install anything. Let's see that. And then now the camera recognizes an image. Specifically here, it will recognize the QR code as opposed to what we had earlier that it recognizes the floor. So here I'm recognizing the QR code, and there you go. You see the building popping out of the screen, right? Like overlaying that QR code as opposed to what we had earlier that sits on the floor. So another simple example of that. Let's take it a step further. Let's say we want a custom image as opposed to just a QR code. So you want to match some video or 3D model to your business card or to like a magazine. So I'm going to do something really simple right here. I'm going to upload some custom, let's say an MP4 file, like a cartoon. And let's add, instead of doing anywhere, I'm going to do on an image. So I'm going to choose some image to overlay the content. So let's do that. Uploading the same content now, we have a similar process, but now we support images and videos instead of 3D models. Once that is done, I'm going to scan the QR code that will be instantiated as well. So let's do that. Again, just scanning the QR code, but now you'll see that the camera will not recognize a QR code because that's not our target anymore. So let's put it right here on the side. So camera instantiates, and then it doesn't pick up on that, but when I open the marker, there you go. We have the video overlaying this custom image that we uploaded, and basically allows it to see a video on top of it. It's a really cool use case. We work with companies who did like a scavenger hunt in AR that you can like scan QR codes around town and see informational data. In another hackathon we sponsored, there was a project that people would create a lot of custom images that people could scan, and then they would see informational videos on COVID-19. But then on the back end, we'll actually scan how many, like we'll accumulate how many people scan the QR code to basically enforce social distancing and figure out that people are running around together. Another thing that you can do is add content based on location. So I can tag a specific location to the content, for example, New York. That will add another layer of data to the content, basically making sure that if you open the same app in New York, it will open in it will stream the data to New York. If you open it, again, if you have, let's say, an app in New York, it will have the same generic app, but it will stream the Empire State. If you open the same app in San Francisco, it will give you the Golden Gate Bridge. So you can tag the data with locations. Other things that you can do is, again, as I mentioned, you can share the content really fast. So like the same way we just saw, you can clip you just clip this link, and then you get this QR, basically link, a very, very short link to the same 3D model, the same way we shared it with the QR code. So definitely check it out and share it with your friends on social media. Like, you can literally give them a 3D model to see it right now. What else do we have here? So one cool resource is the downloads. As I mentioned, you can download all our SDKs right here. We have a few example codes that you can start with. So for example, a Unity, as I mentioned, it's really, really powerful, and I really recommend you use it. A Flutter example that you can use as well. And in our repository, we have a really like a lot of examples of cool things that you can do or fork and continue. For example, this living room example that you can have a really, really cool video and model kind of thing that you can build and show people, like cool video in AR like this. Or for example, we have another example of a museum. They can have all these different examples are open source and free, and you can use them to build a really engaging AR application. So definitely check them out in our GitHub channel, GitHub page. Aside from that, we have the documentation. In that documentation, we literally have a step-by-step guide for all of you to recreate exactly what I just did. So definitely check that out and go through these instructions on how to build your AR application. It really guides you like step-by-step how to shoot, how to add content, how to look at it, how to share it. Really, really simple. And in addition to that, we have our support channel and Slack that you can join at any time and ask our team any questions. We'll be happy to help you. You can reach out to us or tweet. You can change the theme of the console as well. Let's go through other features that you can have. So data is one. As I mentioned, you can have data associated with each individual card, like scale or direction, but you can also have global data, for example, associated with the entire project and not a specific content. You can manage your payments. Again, if you register with your link from the hackathon provider, you're going to get this $89 value tier 4 free, so definitely check that out. And you can see some plan usage and like how many API calls you're making, how much data you're consuming, how much bandwidth you're consuming. In locations, you're able to see your data distribution. So remember, we added that Fox in New York, so you can see the data distribution in New York. Aside from that, we're able to see the servers that are being used and how people are using your content across the world. Security allows you to manage a few of the security properties of your device, of your project, add users and whatnot. Insights allow you to show insights on the project, some analytics on how much people are using it, the API calls you're making, your most popular model. We just streamed the Big Bug Bunny, so we can see that there's a spike in the usage, so you can monitor how people are using your content. You can look at all the actions that are being made on your project. Really, really cool stuff. When it comes to users, you're able to see how the users are using your application. Tutorials, there's a really cool and powerful page. So you're able to see some frequently asked questions and basically redirect you to our documentation to basically explain how you can engage the system. And one of my favorite pages is the inspiration page that basically gives you a really, really cool breakdown of a lot of amazing projects in AR and VR that was either built with EchoAR or not, like the art project that I mentioned, or the mystery game, or a cool project we did with Horizon 5G. So definitely check it out. There's a lot of things that can inspire you in the world of retail and marketing and data visualization and games, obviously. These are a few projects that were made during COVID hackathons that we sponsored around COVID tracking, like the COVID tracker that I mentioned. So definitely check out all these amazing projects. They're really, really cool. Now I'm going to go back and show you something in Unity, which is basically a really cool game engine that we really recommend you use. It's really powerful to build AR/VR applications. All you have to do is install Unity, download our SDK here, double-click that, and it will automatically integrate into your game engine. All you have to do here is just go to EchoAR examples and samples. That will open this empty sample scene. There's nothing here, right? There's nothing in the sample scene. I'm going to plug in my API key right here, and I'm going to press play. What's going to happen right now is we're going to start streaming those 3D models that we have on our console to Unity automatically. Very cool, very simple. So we have the video here. We have the building, which is rotated because remember we made direction equals live, and we also have the bunny. So first of all, let's stop this from playing because I'm getting the audio. But we have the building right here. We have the fox inside, if you can see it right here. So maybe let's move the fox a little bit so the building will not occlude it. So let's do go to the fox. Let's do x equals 10. Bam, suddenly the fox moved automatically. Let's stop the building from rotating. Go back to this data. Stop the rotation. Bam, stop rotating. So these are obviously simple examples of how you can stream data in real time, change it. When I delete this, and then stop the application and restart it again, you'll see nothing remains on the memory. Everything disappears. But when I restart it, things stream again in the right orientation. So you'll see the fox now, again, the fox is 10 feet away from the building. And all I have to do is mention it here. So this is something that we'd like to call a stateful CMS, basically allowing you to conserve the state of the scene. Now I deleted the video, suddenly it deleted itself from here. Same thing with the fox. If I delete it here, it will automatically be deleted from the scene. So again, simple examples of how you can interact with content, how you can change stuff automatically. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a really cool coding example, really short. So let's do that. So I'm going to show you every 3D model that's being instantiated has this custom behavior script that you can edit. I'm going to edit that script to just change some, just to show you an example of how to use the system. So here we have a C# script. If you know C#, you're golden. But if you know Java or other object-oriented languages, that's OK as well. We have two functions here. One is the start function that basically, by its name, instantiates every time there's the application starts, and the update function that happens every single frame. Remember, you're coding in 3D, which means there's rendering, there's an animation, there's frames being rendered like a video. So this function happens every single frame. And what's really important to remember is that specifically here, you'll have to take performance into consideration because this is happening every single frame. It's like a while true loop or like an infinite for loop that happens every single frame. So you have to make sure that it doesn't stall the memory and doesn't stall the application. Let's start with something simple. In the start function, I'm going to add some script that allows it to remotely transfer like the rotation and X, Y, direction, scale, stuff like that. Another code snippet that basically says if this entry has some additional data and that additional data contains a key called the name, set the name of the game object to that name. Let's see how that works in action. So when I press play, I don't have a name here. I'll see that the name of the building will be apartment, right? Apartment.jl. Perfect. Now let's say I want to change this. So let's add name, like name equals, I don't know, what's a good name for a building? Kevin. Now I'm going to press play, and voila. When it loads, you're going to see that the name of building now is Kevin. Super, super simple example. Interesting enough, if I change the name to something else, like Sam, it doesn't change here. Why is that? Because we had that function, that snippet of code in the start function, not the update. So let's see what happens when we change it. So let's put the code that we had in the start function in the update function. So basically, it happens every single frame. Press play to that. Let's see now, it basically compiles the new script. And bam, now it's called Sam. And now if we change it back to Kevin, there you go, it changes automatically. Okay, now we have literally the function figuring out every single frame. Do we have that name? Do we have that data entry? If it does, we change it to be the data entry that we got. Super simple example. We have a little more complex examples in our GitHub, as I mentioned, so definitely check that out. If you go to our GitHub, we have examples of, for example, let's look at this COVID tracker. They can build something like that in Unity, stream a 3D model of the world, have it rotate, and basically add some data and informational data based on that, and have your custom behavior script adapt to that data. So check that out as well. Now I'm going to jump back to the slides. So give me one sec. Stop that from playing. Okay. So what do you see so far? So we have you as a developer, you can choose any class at SDK. If it's Android, iOS, magically polygons, you name it. As a content creator, you can drag and drop any 3D model that you want. We build, store, and deliver it to any device out there. Developers save time and money in building their application. Content creators need no technical skills to do exactly what I just did. 50% of what I did was a no-code solution. And companies can, scale to enterprise level. Specifically here, we love to say that we empower every 3D application. So we talk about use cases like surgery or tourism or ads or shopping or games or interior design. So definitely let your imagination run wild. You're only limited with your imagination to basically build really engaging AR/VR applications. We are fortunate enough to be supported by the top investors in the country and awarded all these awards. So definitely check us out if you see it at any one of the top conferences for tech. Definitely say hello to our team. We love to say that we empower a lot of the platforms to basically run on our track. So definitely consider us in the next time you're going to build an AR/VR application. And again, as I mentioned, specifically for this hackathon, we're sponsoring one of the challenges and awarding an award for the best AR/VR application powered by EchoAR. So definitely check that out and try to build something engaging. Register again on our website or through the link that you got from your hackathon organizers. Thank you so much for coming to this workshop. Stay safe and healthy and start building amazing things with augmented virtual reality. Thank you so much again and have a good one.